Hello everyone. So this is supposed to be a short little guide on how to go about the Versa GPose that I ended up posting. I've gotten a bunch of DMs over the last 24 hours asking how did I pull off the Versa GPose, and this would be the one. So allow me to introduce to you the magic of stage depth. Stage depth is a plugin that exists in ReShade that allows you to load any custom backgrounds that you have. So this requires you to not only have the image that you're looking for, but ensure that the image is big enough that it can be used as a background for your GPose. Here's a good example of stage depth. So this was a Wes Anderson idea that I tried pulling off, and once having your character injected into the GPose, this was exactly the results that I was looking for. Wasn't exactly happy about it, but knock yourself out on the different kinds of ideas that you could go for. So without much further ado, ensure that you are locked in into your specific pose that you want. This is the pose specifically that I made for Versa, and you do need Brio and the custom Thesis workspace in order to get the best results when you are messing around with stage depth. So over here, I've loaded in my pose. Everything's all good and dandy. And what you need to do is inside your Final Fantasy folder, you want to make sure that in the ReShade or GShade folder, under textures, that you do put in your image over here. Here's an example of the background that I was using for this image. So this is being titled as Battlefield PNG. You can put in a whole bunch of different backgrounds over there just to make sure that you get an idea of which ones you want to be pulling up in your GPose. Another thing you need to do is take into consideration the lighting, because this is more important in order to get it to pop. For example, in this background, it's got more of a sort of a reddish tone, and then we've got the reflection of the moon, which is more of an orangish sort of tone. And so now that I've got my pose over here, I'm going to be loading up the ReShade. I specifically for this one was using the Alpha Shade, which I found was pretty good over here. And this was a custom preset that I created for this. And the way you go about creating a custom preset without messing with any of the original ones that you get from modders is you click on this little icon, say inherit current preset, and you give it a nickname. This way you can create a new preset that you own with all of the custom settings or any of the additional stuff that you'd like to put in for this. Now, before you start turning it on, you do definitely want to make sure that you've got the lighting in place. So I'm going to click on new camera, new free camera, click on the little moving guy. This way I can use WS80 to sort of set the angle. And this is important because it helps you mess with the direction that you'd like to get it on. And I'm going to be adding a quick little point light. And this point light, I'm going to try and look for it. I'll put another point light here. There we go. So I've got this one here, which I want it to look like the shoulder, the light on the shoulder. I'm going to move it here a bit. I'm going to turn down the intensity. I'm going to change the color to a bit of orange hue. As for the other one, I am going to be moving it a bit here. I only want it for a bit of the portion of his face, so I am going to be turning this into a lighter shade of red. Lower down the intensity, and make sure you have cast shadows enabled for both. This is important because it gives this nice little blend to the character without trying and exposing too much light to it. And finally, now that we've got it in place, we would pop here in the ReShade, look for the specific one that says stage depth. And what you need to do is Under stage depth, there will be a portion where you would need to enter in the file name over here, which is the stage texture plus. Over here, as you can see, I did already put in the word Battlefield PNG, which matches the name from here. Do note, the quotes are required, and you need to put in the extension of the file name as well. So if it's JPEG, it needs to be JPEG. If it's PNG, PNG. And now that I will turn on the toggle, as you can see, I do have the image that I'm looking for. This is more of an adjustment in scale on where the positions of the image would be. If you are not happy with the image, or if the image is a little too far, what you can do is adjust in Stage Depth Plus the depth slider. So as you can see, adjusting the depth slider will adjust exactly how far off you want with the character. I need just enough to the point where the cloak doesn't look too bad. I've got the weapon, I've got my character in place, and yeah. So this is perfect. Now that I've got the angle that I need, you just need to make sure that you use something like cinematic depth of field. Use the autofocus or the mouse-driven autofocus, and this allows you to specifically focus on specific areas. If you feel that it is a little bit too far off, you may want to adjust the aperture a bit. This way you can adjust exactly how much blur would be given to your character. And now that you've got it done, this is it. There you go. Happy GPose.